thought-provoking one there. Well, let's go straight to the United States of America. Donald Trump's forthcoming presidency will commence with his swearing-in ceremony on Monday. He intends to issue multiple executive orders as well as address the American people. Now, there is an itinerary of what the president would be doing ahead of a very busy schedule and a very busy day, especially looking at the fact that the inauguration would be one that is witnessed and watched globally by not just Americans, but of course Nigerians, Ghanaians, Indians, you name it whatsoever. We do have a guest who's joining us now. Her name simply is one that truly, represents what many of us call for in the morning. Joi is coming. Anyway, Joi joins us this morning all the way from the United States. Thank you so much, Joi John, for being here this morning. You've been following the inauguration very closely, and due to the time that we have limited, we want to really touch base on this particular special occasion. Can you tell us what the feeling is like being an American, or the Americans, how they're feeling ahead of the grand, very, very special event?
Thanks, Joe. Thank you for having me. Well, it's divided. Just as any election, any part of the world, if your party wins, you're happy, and if your party loses out, it's a different setting for the Democrats. So it's really a divided feeling today.
I mean, divided, why exactly? I remember in the build-up to the elections, there was, many people who, I did speak about this before, that the current president-elect was painted as, the new Hitler, and he was coming to destroy democracy and whatnot. And so, there's still those concerns. Do people still have those fears that Donald Trump, once he gets in, is going to be the new Hitler and is going to destroy the American democracy and is going to jail all his, political enemies and whatnot?
Well, one thing you can't deny is that Trump has a large following. He has a cult following. And regardless of people's perception about his person, he does have a following that believe that he is in office to fight the establishment. So it really doesn't matter what people perceive of him. It's going to be up to his team and the administration to show America what he has to offer.
All right, let's focus on some of the policies. I'd like to take on the border closure. We've seen a lot of persons already apprehensive and worried about what would come out of the situation of things when Trump decides to enact or put into law some of the statements he's made. He's talked about Buy America, America for Americans, border closure, jobs should actually go to the Americans. How are people reacting to this?
The issue of border closure has been widely debated. While securing the borders and prioritizing American jobs are considered important, I believe that there's always a balance to strike. Many industries in the United States rely on immigrant labor, and I'm talking healthcare, hospitality, agriculture, to construction. So it's important that whatever policies are being implemented by the Trump administration must consider the broader economic impact, including African professionals seeking opportunities here in the United States.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons that Nigerians also worry, that once Donald Trump comes in, there's a possibility that it's going to restrict a lot of Nigerians being able to visit the United States or even move to the United States. Do they have, legitimate reasons to have those fears?
I believe so. But then the healthcare sector, for instance, is one that constantly needs skilled workers. So I don't know how that would affect that sector. We're looking at also tech as well. I believe so. There's concern in every quarter.
Okay. I mean, you talked about tech, you talked about the medical sector. We do know that Nigerians are doing very wonderful things in these sectors. But let's also look at a very popular
Amazingly well, yes.
Yeah, let's look at a popular one that just happened a fortnight, a few hours back. TikTok. The ban on TikTok, and then all of a sudden Trump comes in, offers them, a helping hand, says he's going to extend it for a number of days. There are rumors that he's going to seek for a percentage on TikTok. Can you shed more light if you've heard anything on that?
Absolutely. President Trump has long expressed concerns over national security regarding TikTok, and his stance on ownership reflects that. Now, it's not a personal arrangement with TikTok, of course, but Trump would like the United States to have a 50% ownership position in a joint venture. And his executive order will protect from liability any company or companies that helped keep TikTok accessible before the order is issued. So, from what we've seen in the last 24 hours, the extension is reassuring for one, but it also suggests ongoing negotiations. And it's also very clear that the Trump administration wants a greater control over data security.
Yeah, I mean, well, data security, there's many people who also do not agree with the reasons behind this whole TikTok, controversy, as being a data security challenge. But, I also want, to speak on the, once again, re-election of, Donald Trump. The Democrats had 4 years, and then they had President Obama, and then, of course, Trump came in. What does this really signify with regards to the Democratic Party in the United States? Is there a sense that Americans, to a large extent, are tired of the stereotype American politics and, the way of governance that, they basically have had to deal with, since the Obama era?
Yes, elections are won by numbers. Politics itself is a game of numbers. And when you look at the numbers from this election, Trump had an impressive run. He won all 7 swing states. The numbers are clear. He broke grounds. He made history for the Republican Party. So that really tells you where there is a problem. The numbers were different in 2020 with Joe Biden. With the results for 2020, they were different and they were clear, even though he contested that. But with this election, it's really hard to contest. So people are over. I mean, we've had more people who voted for a different party tilting towards a Republican in this election, and that shows where their mindset is.
Let's talk about the preparation for the all-important event. Can you shed more light what have been put in place and what the world is about to see in terms of spectacle? We do understand that there's a downplay in terms of the celebration due to the weather conditions. So he's going to be sworn, inside. Can you share with us what has been put in place ahead of the all-important event?
Absolutely. So the election, Trump will, his Vice President J.D. Vance will be sworn in at 11:50, I believe 11:59 a.m. and Trump at 12 noon or thereabout. And once that happens, it's going to be in the Capitol Rotunda. And of course, due to the weather, it's really cold. It started snowing here in Washington yesterday, and it's freezing cold. So the crowd that we were anticipating, or the crowd in D.C., will not have access to the grounds as in previous traditions. This is the second time in U.S. history that we are having to move the inauguration inside. The first being the second inauguration for Ronald Reagan 40 years ago. So it's totally different. And yes, it's being downplayed. There will be about it's a smaller audience in the Capitol Rotunda, but then there is also a viewing for his supporters who would want to watch the ceremony, but it's lesser.
All right. Well,
and I believe that 220,000 tickets were given for this inauguration, but they wouldn't have the capacity to hold that number.
We'll see. I mean, it's the birth of the start of another 4-year run for President Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. We wish America the absolute best, and of course, hope that whatever policies that are put in place do not negatively affect Nigerians, because there's a lot of concerns on this side. But thank you very much, Joi John, for joining us this morning. I hope that you enjoy Inauguration Day, and we'll speak with you again pretty soon.
Absolutely, and I think
absolutely.
I think we should have Joi tomorrow. So hopefully you would stay awake and cover the entire event and come back here tomorrow and shed more light on what went down. I hope you're up for that.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.